some people say that you can't find best friendship and love in the same instance. I am one of those people. 10-ish years ago, I went to San Francisco to visit my best friend, and I was coming from New York, and I had 2 or 3 days. And before I got out there, she was like, Coop, you got to meet my friend so-and-so. I'm not going to say her the name. Jessica. You got to meet my friend Jessica. You're going to die. She's so funny. She's a comedian. She's a marathon runner. She's blonde too, whatever. And I was like, great. I'm very horny. When I get there, when I get to town, we go to a bar and we all get drunk, and magically I have chemistry with this stranger, and she was funny and nice and great. But so I walk her home. My friends are walking behind us, and I'm walking with her, and we're like, so. And because I'm fast, we were making out on the porch in no time. And we're making out in front of her, like, big, cool, tall, painted lady, San Francisco house. And I'm like, get out of here, to my buddy. And she was like, see you later. That's how she talks. And so making out, having a fine time. And this lady's smooth and cool, and it feels nice, and it's great. And while we're smooching, she leans behind herself and, like, magically slips her keys in the door and is like, and I was like, getting in, okay. And when she cracks the door, another sound is heard, which is meow, which is the sound of a cat. I'm not good at animal impressions. I just learned that. Okay. Anyway, a cat mews, and a tiny little kitten cat comes out, and I was like, oh, you have a cat? And she was like, yeah, this is my cat. And I was like, I am deathly allergic to cats, contrary to T-shirt. I have a lot of animal clothing, don't know why. Anywho, seriously asthmatically allergic to cats. So anyways, I was like, it's so nice to meet you. You're beautiful, very good kisser. I gotta go. And she was like, all right. You know, and disappointed. I was disappointed. I went, and then I was like, I gotta find my friend Michelle. So I go running down the street. I'm running. I find her. I'm amazing. I don't know. This is about me. And so I catch up to Michelle, and she's like, she's very loud is the other reason I found her. And she's like standing in the street yelling at my friend Tasha with like love. And they're like, ah, blah, blah, blah. And I was like coming around the corner. She's like, no, what happened? And I was like, man, she has cats. And she was like, Coop, you can't let your allergies control your life. And I was like, you're right. Tell her I'm coming back. And then I went running down the street, and I was like hearing music. I was like, this is so romantic. I love myself. This is great. Look at me. And it's like beautiful and foggy and great. And I get back to the house, and I rap on the door. Michelle had already texted her, and she was like, come on in. And I was like, great. So we are fooling around. It's great. It's fantastic. It was fun. And in the midst of this thing, it's getting hot and heavy. It's great. But I'm beginning to wheeze because I am deathly allergic to cats. And I'm like, it's having a hard time talking even. I'm like, it's so pretty. And it's getting bad, and our breath is increasing. We're getting rapid, you know. And at one point, I'm like, and she's like, honestly, are you okay? And I was like, I'm fine. But when I go to say that, I'm like laying atop, making out, and I go to push myself up on her bed. And when I do that, I push on the bed, and just this layer of animal fluff. This is a tiny kitten, and it's just throwing its fur to the winds. I was like, hey, whoa, and it was like, whoosh, and I was like, okay. I'm going to do this for a little while longer, and I think I need to go. And then we made out for a lot longer on accident, and plus we'd been drinking. So at some point, I passed out, and then I woke up in her living room, and I can't breathe very well. I mean, it's bad. It's like asthma to the extreme. I have an inhaler, so I'm like, I gotta get out of here, and I'm just puffing on the porch, but I'm past the point of emergency rescue inhaler. I am not able to breathe because my little tiny, they're called alveoli, my little tiny pipes inside my pipes are like, shook, and I can't get air, and I'm like, this is bad. It's cold outside, it's getting really bad. And she comes out on the porch, And I'm kind of in this weird bent position, which is the only way I can breathe. And she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Nah, not good." And she said, "Well, we have a hot tub." And I was like, "You're amazing." So she takes me out to the hot tub, and it's fine, and I'm starting to be okay, and I'm heating up, and I'm relaxing, and it's going okay. And we're like, "Who do you know in Portland?" "Okay, great." We're just back to normal, like, first date, good times. And then we get out of the hot tub, and she's walking ahead of me, and because there's chemicals in the hot tub, it's cold outside, whatever, I get out of the hot tub, and my lungs, I can feel them collapse. And they're not like collapse, like I didn't puncture them, but they just shut down, and I was getting sips of air. It makes me feel uncomfortable talking about it. I should have trigger warning, I'm sorry. I could not breathe. And so she was walking ahead of me, and I didn't answer what she asked, and she turned around, and I apparently was white, and I was like, and she's like, "We gotta go to the hospital." We go to the hospital. We get her roommate Bob is home, and then he comes and she like pulls him out on the back porch at like 5 a.m. and he's asleep, and he looks at me. He thinks I'm having a drug reaction. Thinks I'm a drug addict, and I was like, and rushed me to San Francisco General. They take me in. They give me stuff, and I'm alive. And like a couple hours later, I'm breathing at an acceptable rate, and the nurse comes in and she's like, "Hey, do you want to talk to your friend?" And I was like, "Is she still here?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I didn't know what that meant. And then that lady who came in, Jessica, came in, and she was swollen with tears, just like red face. I know. And I was like, "I love you." And she said, "I love you too." And then we had a 2-month relationship that we shouldn't have had ever. No, sir. No, sir. So, trauma bonding. Any hoots. If you almost die on the first date, that is a red flag. Keep it going for